While preparing to repair his roof before the approaching winter, John stumbled upon something that immediately caught his attention. A large, unusual mass wedged tightly between his outer wall and the insulation of his roof. At first glance, it looked like a hornet's nest, but its sheer size and odd texture set off alarm bells in his mind. It was far larger than any nest he had ever seen, and the rough, fibrous surface didn't match the smooth, layered appearance of typical insect constructions. A sense of unease settled over him as he realized he had never encountered anything quite like this before. Curious yet cautious, John decided to take a closer look. He retrieved the tallest ladder he could find and carefully climbed toward the mysterious object, every step heightening his anxiety. Despite the years of DIY experience and fearlessness in dealing with household problems, he felt a rare sense of vulnerability as he balanced on the rungs. To his surprise, there was no buzzing, no movement, no sign of life whatsoever. The silence was almost eerie, and the object's density and weight made it feel unnervingly solid, as if it were something far more substantial than an ordinary nest. John paused several times, trying to convince himself that it was just an abandoned insect structure, but instinct told him otherwise. Deciding to investigate further, John carefully removed the object from its perch and placed it on his garden table for closer inspection. He noticed immediately that the mass was made of thick, interwoven fibers rather than the thin, papery layers of a hornet's nest. Even more puzzling were the odd indentations and the dense texture, which seemed almost deliberately shaped. When he peeled back a small section, he discovered bits of fur hidden within the fibers, confirming his suspicion that this was the creation of an animal rather than insects. Baffled and intrigued, he called his friend Mark, a wildlife enthusiast, to get a second opinion. Mark examined the object and agreed. It was not the work of hornets or wasps. That night, John's unease escalated when he was abruptly awakened by loud, deliberate stomping coming from his attic. His heart raced as he froze, listening to the heavy, methodical sounds echoing above him. The timing couldn't have been more alarming when Mark called just then, revealing the shocking truth. The mysterious object was a food storage sack made by a brown bear, likely still inside the house. The bear had created the fibrous nest out of twigs, dirt, and fur to store food for hibernation, and its presence explained the strange noises John had heard earlier. Panic set in as he realized the potential danger of the situation. Acting quickly, John left the house and called animal control, following Mark's advice to ensure his safety. Minutes later, officers arrived and efficiently assessed the situation. They moved cautiously into the house, using specialized equipment to reach the attic where the bear had been hiding. After administering a tranquilizer, they safely subdued the massive animal and transported it to a wildlife sanctuary, where it would remain safe and cared for through the winter. John and Mark watched in both relief and disbelief as the bear was removed. Shaken but grateful, John returned home with a renewed sense of caution, determined to secure the attic windows and ensure that such a terrifying encounter would never happen again.